Chapter 11, The Masquerade. After breaking into Vivian's house, you and Gray were on your way out when she unexpectedly arrived home. Vivian... Just what the hell do you think you're doing in my house? You glance urgently over Gray, who just so happens to be blocked from Vivian's view at the doorway. He closes his eyes, his form momentarily flickering, but the blue aura doesn't flare up like you'd expect. He meets your gaze, panics. I can't go invisible. It must be all the energy I got from the crystals in the sauna. Answer me! Vivian steps further into the room and you hurry forward to meet her, to keep her from seeing Gray. Hang on, But she pushes past you, and Gray throws himself beneath the piano just in time to avoid being spotted. First you stalked me at my work, now you're in my home? I know this looks bad. Looks bad. Looks bad? Okay, so it more than looks bad, but I promise that I have a perfectly good reason for being here. Now that I doubt. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Gray crawling along the floor, trying to sneak out behind Vivian. Why doesn't he just go through the floor? He's a ghost. You know what? On second thought, I don't care. I said if I saw you again, I'd call the authorities, and yet here you are. Vivian pulls out her phone and goes to turn around. You rush forward with your hands outstretched, desperate to keep her attention on you. Just give me a second to explain. Her lips curls as she stares down her nose at you, and you look around the room wildly searching for some excuse. Your eyes catch on the crystals and other spiritual items that line every surface. That's it. I've just got to appeal to the part of her that believes in all this stuff. I found you the other night because I was drawn to your energy. My energy? Vivian looks a perfectly arched brow at you, but allows you to continue speaking. I'm a medium with psychic abilities, and I could immediately tell you were a kindred spirit. You've got latent power just waiting to be awakened. Well, obviously, I could have told you that. Despite her uncaring tone, you can see a sparkle of interest in her eyes. But that still doesn't explain why you're in my house. Well, I was originally just hoping to beat you again, but then I noticed when I got here, your house is spiritually connected. I'm spiritually connected. Why wouldn't my house be? You clench your teeth to hold back a snide remark and paste on a fake smile. Well, definitely. But this pull was very strong. It was like anything I'd ever felt before, so I was compelled to check it out. My powers are so much stronger in your house. Show me. You look towards Gray, silently pleading with your eyes, and he gives you a thumbs up as he mouths to you. I'm on it. He grabs a candle from the side table and rolls it on the ground at the same time you close your eyes and hold your hand out. See? You did that? I'd be more than happy to help you hone your own skills if it's something you're interested in. You know, that sounds great and all, but I haven't forgotten that you broke into my house. So get out, so I can get to my yoga class. You've already made me late. Oh, of course. I'll get out of your hair and won't bother you again. You begin to walk slowly towards the doorway as Vivian watches you, since Gray is still standing there. He once again squeezes his eyes shut in concentration, only this time his solid form does fade away. I'm all for cutting it close, but that might have been a little too close. You don't respond, hurrying outside and down the street until you're practically out of sight of the house before finally turning to Gray. At least you managed to turn invisible before she saw you. I did not want to try explaining that. But you're gonna get me into serious trouble one day. Maybe you shouldn't commit crimes if you don't want to face the consequences. You swat at his shoulder, even as you both laugh. And who's the one who convinced me to do that? I'm a terrible influence, aren't I? But we got out of there, so no real harm done. So that's a win in my book. What I don't understand is why Samuel didn't warn us she was coming home. He was supposed to be keeping an eye on her. You don't think he fell asleep on the job, do you? He is pretty old. Ghosts don't sleep. Close your eyes to focus yourself, thinking on Samuel's image. Stuffy but caring energy he seems to carry with him. Samuel Morrison, are you there? There's a brief moment of silence before he appears before you, giving an approving nod. There you are. What about you? We got caught because you didn't tell us Vivian was coming home. Well, how was I supposed to know you were still inside? And furthermore, I am done tailing the girl. I refuse to sit through another 3-hour photo shoot. Gray snorts a laugh next to you and you crack a smile. Can't blame you for that. They aren't even fun to be in my opinion. Bobby comes bounding over to you, tail wagging happily. And you weren't even to help either, Bobby. You could have barked or something to let us know she was coming. Poor guy. But how can you stay mad at that adorable face? I can't. You kneel down so you can run your fingers through Bobby's back, and he happily butts up against them as best as he can. How did you two? Did you two at least find something worthwhile inside? We discovered a possible motive Vivian might have had for killing Gray, but that was about it. Maybe it's time we regroup. Let's go check in with Alexandra, see if she has any ideas of how to proceed. Oh, you want to see your baby sister again, don't you? Yeah, don't make things out of it. You and Gray bid Samuel goodbye and make a short drive to the Morrison Winery, meeting Alexandra inside a thankfully empty space. Iris, I didn't realize you were coming. Is Gray with you, or... He's, You look over just as Gray's body shimmers and he materializes at your side. We're right here. Alexandra tears up as she looks at Gray, and she reaches out for him automatically, eyes going wide when she touches his shoulder. I can touch you! How is that possible? We're still not entirely sure. She surges forward and pulls him into a crushing hug. Alex, you're gonna kill me again. She lets him go with a wistful smile, wiping the tears from her eyes. Sorry, I couldn't help it. But I'm sure that's not why the two of you are here. What happened? So we went to Vivian's house to investigate, and it was a total disaster. Too easy. Is there a middle selection? I'm gonna go with total disaster. I wouldn't say that. We made it in, we made it out. A win is a win. We got caught by a security guard and Vivian herself. I'm pretty sure I barely dodged getting arrested. Well, I'm very glad I didn't have to bail you out of jail. But was it worth it? Did you find out anything? No, not a single scrap of hard evidence. But nothing indicating innocence either. If I'm going to prove that she killed Gray, I honestly think I just need to talk to her one-on-one, but doing a face-to-face isn't exactly an option. Especially not after today. Well, what if you don't need to be face-to-face? Not exactly, anyway. What do you mean? The annual Sonoma Masquerade is tomorrow night. Anyone in Sonoma will be there, including Vivian. And everyone's faces will be covered by masks. I'll be able to talk to Vivian without her recognizing me. Yeah, never mind your voice. Curtis and I will be there too. I have a feeling you're going to need all the help you can get. Not that I've told him about all this, but now that I think about it, what are we going to do about Gray? No one should recognize me as long as I've got a mask on. I'll just go as I am. I hope you're not too disappointed I won't get to possess you, Iris. I just want you with me. Or in me. Which one is it, Iris? I just want you with me. I don't care if you're possessing me or standing at my side, so long as you're there. Gray's eyes soften, and your heart flutters in your chest as a tender smile he gives you. You're getting sappy on me. You like it? I do. Alexandra looks rapidly between the two of you before she grabs your arm and tugs you down the hall, calling over her shoulder. I gotta talk to Iris real fast, Gray. We'll be back in a second. She finally lets you go as you step into the sitting room, but before you can even open your mouth, she's talking rapidly. What's going on between you and my brother? Are you two together? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him look at anyone the way he looks at you. You feel your cheeks heat, even as your heart soars at her words. It's complicated. I guessed as much, given that he's a ghost and you aren't. Can you even be together with a ghost? Not exactly. There's a lot about Gray that's different from any other ghost I've worked with. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I haven't really been with anyone in ages, and never with a ghost. Well, for the record, I think you're doing the right thing. Really. You're staying true to yourself. You know how you feel about him, and I can tell how he feels about you. But you can't help but let your mind drift to the reality you've been refusing to face. I just wish it was that simple, but our time together is already limited. Once I solve his murder, he'll have to move on. That'll be the end. That doesn't mean you should just give it up. If there's one thing I've learned from all this, is that you should just cherish every moment you have with someone. This is true. You're starting to sound like me. All the more reason you should listen. Thanks, Alexandra. It's nice having someone to talk about, about all this. You follow her back to the main entrance. Gray raises an eyebrow as you approach. Iris and I realize that the two of you don't have anything to wear to the masquerade, so I'm putting in a rush order for matching outfits because I'm such a good sister like that. Should have known it was a fashion emergency. Listen, how does a ghost wear clothing? Doesn't it take energy out of them? Alexandra shoots off a text on her phone, and within a minute there are designers in the room getting both you and Gray fitted. Soon, Gray is stepping out of a form-fitting blue and black suit with crystal accents, his face hidden behind a stylish mask. Uh-huh. Okay. What do you think? Wow. You let your gaze trail down his body, admiring the way the outfit accentuates his best features. Yeah, you're just as good looking as ever, Gray. But now it's Iris's turn to shine. You're quickly dressed in a flowing cream gown covered in shining crystals with a matching mask that practically sparkles. Ghost of yourself. That actually looks pretty. Wow, I haven't worn anything like this before. You look incredible. Everyone will absolutely love it, but Gray especially. She gives you a wink before leading you back out behind a partition to where Gray is waiting. Damn. He flushes his eyes wander your body, gliding over the curve of your hips up to the jewelry scattered across your neck and chest. Please, hold your applause. Gray doesn't seem to hear her. His eyes are glued to you as he strides forward. Mind giving us a lone moment, or Lex? Only because I like you. You and Gray don't break eye contact as she heads out of the room with the designers, the air between you is thick with tension. Well, now we know who's going to win Best Dressed at the Ball this year. I'm thinking that will actually be you. I'm willing to accept a tie. Gray gently cups your cheek, turning your head so you can see both of you in a mirror, standing side by side. We are going to distract each other all night. Oh yeah, why's that? Because I'll barely be able to keep my eyes off you with how good you look. And I know you won't be able to keep your eyes off me. Slides his arms around your waist, careful not to let the crystals get snagged on one another as he pulls you in. He leans in close so that his breath gently wafts over the shell of your ear as he whispers, "You know me, I like being distracted." He closes the short distance between you, seeking out his lips as you come together in a perfect kiss. A soft heat spreads through your body as he deepens the kiss. It's all too easy to sink into his arms. It might be the first event like this I've ever actually looked forward to. You steal another quick kiss before reluctantly pulling away and straighten your dress. I can't wait either. The next night, you and Gray arrive arm in arm at the masquerade, stepping aside the massive ballroom filled with other guests. I don't know how I still manage to be surprised at how big all these houses are. Sometimes they surprise me too, especially these days. Maybe it's because I'm getting used to your place, but I feel like I belong even less than I did when I was still alive. Well, you are a ghost now. It's not just that. I used to act like the world revolved around me, like everyone in the room should have been paying attention to me. And I never gave a damn about the consequences of anything I did. It was always someone else's problem. From what I can tell, that's a side effect of all that wealth and status. Maybe. I don't think that's me anymore now. Now you're more... honest or compassionate? We'll go with honest. I'll have you know I gave scathingly honest reviews when I was still alive. I meant about yourself, your feelings. You used to have to put on a persona everywhere you went, but now you're free to just be yourself. I'm honestly still trying to figure out who that is, but better late than never, right? It's never too late to change, not even after death. Gray takes your hand and gives it a soft squeeze, only for both of you to jolt as Samuel appears next to you. I've located Vivian Clark. Geez, Samuel, give us some warning before you drop in like that. I thought you weren't tailing her anymore. I felt it best to make up for my failure to inform you of her location by being proactive about it. So where is she? The best question, or better one, is, would it be, where isn't she? The girl floats around the ballroom like a bee. You and Gray approach the small group of people Vivian's talking to, but she moves on just before you reach them. Might as well see what they were talking about. You blast her on a smile as you join the small crowd of well-dressed individuals in masks. Well, aren't you two quite the lovely pair? Your outfits look perfect together. We dress to impress. That's for sure. Half this crowd doesn't even come close to looking as good as you do. Thank you so much. I saw that you were talking to that supermodel. Oh yes, Vivian Clark. She was making her usual rounds. And rejections? So the two of you are friends with her then? Oh, I don't think she'd call any of us her friend. She's not really a friend person. Do you know what her problem is? Excuse me? I just mean every time I've tried to talk to her, she's been incredibly rude. Don't give her such a hard time. I mean, her ex did just unexpectedly die. I know I've been broken up a few weeks, but still, it's gotta be rough. You carefully school your expression into a frown, as though it's your first you've heard about it. Oh, that's horrible. Thanks for the heads up. We'll plan on giving her some space. You and Gray step away from the two. As you do, you spot Alexandra waving at you from across the room. Alexandra, I just wanted to thank you again for the invite. Of course, it's nice to see some of my actual friends at these events. By the way, she looks pretty. It helps that you're the one who picked out these incredible outfits. I don't think the outfits would look half as good if they were on someone else. She's right. You both look great. He doesn't know. Who's your friend, Iris? I don't think we've been introduced. This is my date. As she smirks behind her mask, giving you a playful wink as you meet her eyes. I didn't know you were seeing anyone. You never asked. You thought I was a fraud. It was a recent development. We're still just seeing where things go. Well, I can't wait for you to tell me all about him over a glass of wine. Gray clears his throat, altering his voice a little, and shakes Curtis's hand and Alexandra's. Nice to meet you, I'm Rin. It's then that Alexandra suddenly rushes across the room to greet another guest, leaving you and Gray with Curtis. Well, Iris, there's actually something I wanted to talk to you about. Of course, what's up? Well, I'm just worried that all this time you've been spending with Alexandra is making it difficult for her to heal and move on. And I can't help but notice that she's been getting you into more and more of these upscale events. We're friends, Curtis. That's why she invited me. I just don't want her getting taken advantage of, Iris, especially not by someone who is dragging out her grief. Gray steps forward and opens his mouth to say something, but Curtis storms off before he can. I don't know what's gotten into him. I've never seen him like that before. He's overly protective, so figuring her brother just died is why. He's being protective of someone he cares about. It's a pretty common reaction from someone who is are skeptical about what I do. That too. It's then Samuel comes floating back to you, a surprisingly giddy expression on his face. I'm afraid Vivian is still engaged, but I thought of just the way to kick off this shindig. I'm a little scared of what qualified as fun in the 1800s. It's an old Victorian parlor game. A person is blindfolded and must catch the other players in the room. In truth, the game serves as a double purpose, for it shall give Iris the opportunity to get close enough to touch the other contestants. So I can use my powers on them and see if I can get any more clues about what happened to Gray. Honestly, it would do a hell of a lot to liven up this party. Vivian's never been able to resist peer pressure, so she'll definitely play. Gray slides his arm around your waist, playfully pinching the skin there and making you giggle. Plus, you'd be playing with me. We both know how much fun we can have together. I'll spread the word and track down a blindfold. You step on from the side room nearby, and soon Gray joins you. A small crowd in tow. You lean in to whisper to him. I'm impressed you got Curtis to join after what he just said before. If I learned anything from my parents, it's how to emotionally manipulate my loved ones. Wow, okay. We just don't have the time to unpack that right now. Is anyone going to explain what is exactly that we're doing here? Gray shoots you a victorious smile as Vivian joins the crowd. I knew she couldn't resist. You stand at the front of the group and get everyone's attention. The game is simple. It's a tag, but the person who's it is blindfolded. And since this was my idea, I'll be it first. Gray carefully ties the blindfold on beneath your mask, raising your cheeks as his fingers does. Everyone, move around while I count from 5. After 1, I'll catch someone. If you can. As the other players mill about the space, you notice the familiar stiff aura of Samuel floating beside you. Think when I'm done counting you can point me in the direction of someone? That would be cheating, Iris. Really, Samuel? I take it that's a no, then? You step forward, opening yourself up to everyone's auras, and immediately feeling Alexandra's warm and enthusiastic Curtis's skepticism. I should grab Curtis. You take a step towards Curtis, then another, waving your hands out in front of you. I know you're there. You hear him take a step to the side and make a confident lunge, your hand colliding with his shoulder and pulling you into a vision. Find yourself in the middle of a raucous party at the Morrison Winery, Gray and Curtis sitting across from each other. Come on, are you afraid you're gonna lose? Well, I'm not arm wrestling you, Gray. But don't you want to impress Lex? Sure how tough you are. Curtis glares at Gray, then with a dramatic sigh puts his arm out and Gray eagerly grabs onto his hand. I regret this already. Looks like Curtis has never been one for games. Oh, I'm shocking. I'm shocked. You come out of the vision and pull your blindfold off, smiling at Curtis. You're it. If I must. You tie the blindfold around his eyes, and despite his smile, he seems stiff and annoyed. You find your way to Gray's side as Curtis counts down, begins his chase, beelining straight for you. You won't get me that easy. You both barely manage to dance away as Curtis swipes his arm in a wide arc. Hide behind Gray. With an apologetic shrug, you quickly dip behind Gray, taking refuge in his shadow. Protect me. Curtis lets out a surprisingly enthusiastic cheer as he tags Gray and pulls off the blindfold. Thanks for the assist, Iris. Gray turns to you, adopting a melodramatic, hurt expression. To root? All's fair in love and parlor games. As Gray ties on the blindfold and counts down, you scan the crowd for Vivian and position yourself closer to her. Come on, get your revenge. Gray laughs loudly as he charges in your direction, and as he gets close, you sidestep right into Vivian, who's standing oddly still. That sounded like... Watch it! Her irritation is palpable, but as your arm brushes against hers, you feel something much bigger under the surface. Sorrow, strong, overwhelming, directed right at Gray as he gives another boisterous laugh. Are you... Forget it. Vivian storms out of the room, and you turn just in time to see Gray pulling the blindfold off to peer at you. Cheater. I was thinking outside the blindfold. That sounds suspiciously like cheating to me. Some responsible, fair-minded game organizer should really do something about that if I don't catch her first. He leaps into motion, barreling towards you. Teasing. You wait until the last moment and step just out of the way. Oh, so close, yet so far. Feeling tricky, huh? He lunges again, but you dance back out of the way with a laugh. Better luck next time. Oh, taunting someone isn't very dignified, you know? Maybe not, but it is fun. With a sudden burst of speed, Gray rushes up and throws his arms around you, pulling you close. I think this is much better, don't you? You lock eyes, and there's this rising heat behind the playfulness in his expression. Leave him waiting. You lean in slowly. He does the same, his eyes fluttering shut and lips parting in anticipation. Gray. When your lips are just brushing against his, the barest hint of a touch. You pause. Yes, Iris. You nip lightly at his lower lip before pulling away, smirking as he chases after you. Rule breakers don't get kisses. Speaking of which, we should probably get back to the game. You look back at the crowd, only find they've continued to play while you and Gray were distracted. Samuel watches eagerly from the sidelines, clapping and cheering. By Jove, what a good show! I have to hand it to Samuel. Seems like this game was a hit. Seems like this hit was not anything regardlessly close to Vivian. I certainly enjoyed myself. Me too, but I think it's time to get back to the task at hand. Gray leads you across the ballroom, snagging 2 glasses of wine from a passing caterer and handing one to you. It's no Morrison Vineyard Cabernet, but it'll do. Always so judgmental. You scan the room as you sip at your wine, spotting Vivian sitting at a crowded table, lost in conversation. Doesn't look like she's going anywhere anytime soon. And we just so happen to have wound up on the dance floor. Gray looks around with a devious grin. You roll your eyes, even as he takes your glass and sets them down on a table. Are you asking me for a dance? He takes your hand and brings it to his lips, pressing a kiss to the back of it and sending a shiver down your spine. May I have this dance, Iris Travers? You may. Your cheeks flushed. You soon find yourself in the middle of the dance floor, one of Gray's hands on your waist, while he holds yours in the other. You're an enigma. Still can't wrap your head around me. Just when I think I have, you go and do something unexpected. Gives you a spin and then pulls you back into his arms, resting his forehead against yours. I've done a lot of changing since we've met. You press a tender kiss to his cheek, a heart fluttering at the smile puts on his face. Well, I happen to like this new Gray. So do I. He carefully guides you across the dance floor, easily weaving between the other couples. So, is this what a date with the Gray Morrison looks like? It depends. Is it going well? There's a flicker of nervousness in his eyes that disappears the moment you let go of his shoulder to cup his cheek. Well, let's see. He took me to a big fancy event, got all dressed up for it, got me a drink, and danced with me. It's definitely one of my top 2 dates. Who beat me at the top? You did. The other day when you first became tangible. He laughs, the feel of it reverberating through you and spreading a soft warmth through your body. I can only think of one thing that would make it even better. What's that? It'd be perfect if we danced closer. A dip is so, it's so done. I'm gonna be honest. You don't gotta ask me twice. You step closer to him and he lets go of your hand so he can wrap his arms fully around your waist. You slide your arms around his neck as the two of you sway to the music, lost in each other's eyes. Much better. You move together slowly and soon you're resting your head on his chest, savoring the feeling of being in his arms. The song ends, but you and Gray remain, clinging to each other as everyone vacates the dance floor. We're supposed to be blending in, Gray. But I don't want to stop touching you. He keeps one of his arms securely around your waist as he leads you off the dance floor. You look around and find Vivian still seated and surrounded. Looks like Vivian hasn't moved at all. Well, then why don't we do a bit of exploring? What kind of exploring? He leans in close to your ear, a shiver rippling through your body as his lips brush the shell of it. A place like this is bound to have some very nice bedrooms we could take advantage of. Heat pulls in your belly, and his words only grows as he strokes your hip, rubbing his thumb over it. We could pretend we're the other people meeting for the first time at a party. Just be ourselves after that dance. I just want to get some alone time with you. I'm just pressing my fingers into my eyes at this. We can't. We have to get answers out of Vivian. We need to stay focused. He apparently has enough energy for the bedroom now. Yeah, that's the responsible thing to do. But in that case, I'm gonna get us some drinks. Think you can handle watching her while I'm gone? You wave him away with a roll of your eyes, but when you look back at the table, Vivian's gone. Where'd she go? Scan the tables and the crowds, but don't see any sign of her or the bright pink outfit. She must still be here somewhere. She can't have gotten far. Just as you turn to call for Gray, you come face to face with Vivian, her eyes boring into yours. You've been watching me all night. What the hell do you want? So anyway, if you enjoyed, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description, plenty of things to check out, ways to support, and whatnot. Without further ado, leave a comment down below, letting me know what you feel, or what you thought, or whatever have you. Aside from that, long story short is, how many of you have been here since I originally stated what I was going to state, back in, like, chapter 1 or 2, where I literally and figuratively said what was going to happen with this book? How am I doing, guys? How am I doing? Oh, wait, I've already called this. It was a few chapters ago that I made that announcement. So, I'm just gonna say this TLDR-wise. So we've got a ghost, right? Who, wow, man, talk about speed running, the ability to not just control inanimate objects, but also to wear them. And then to also touch you, kiss you, and probably bounce you. Wow, how'd we pick that scene? But, you know, knowing YouTube and just the fact that I'm just kind of with this book. You know, I really liked a lot of this book. I like the tarot, I like the, you know, ghost, I like the paranormal stuff, I liked a lot of it. And it's just going away. Like, this book was all about ghosts and paranormal, and it's just going away. Crystals, like, all of it's just going away, man. It's just, it started out great, could have had potential, could have, like, we're not solving other cases, we're not helping other ghosts, like, not really. Samuel's just something that the writers wrote in there to make us feel like we're still doing something somewhere, somehow, while simultaneously only helping ourselves, and not really. And, like, I mean, the dog, it just exists. Like, we helped legitimately one person at the very beginning of all this. Again, we had potential with this book. That's just my thoughts. Let me know yours down below. Otherwise, catch y'all later. Peace out.